I can really brag on my wife all day long. And we're talking about a woman that spoke 5 languages, that raced cars, that was so compassionate, so loving. And we would always kind of joke that our life is like a movie. Where we at? Oh, there's a fish. You don't see the fish around y'all? Look. That's a nice dress. But like that one.
You got me this?
Baby.
This dress is gorgeous.
Baby. Woo! So mommy, where you at?
Beautiful Palm Springs. Daddy surprised me and my little munchkin mash. I love you.
Kira and I, we always wanted back-to-back boys. When we found out that we were welcoming another boy, we were just, ecstatic. Kira was exceptionally healthy. Every single prenatal visit that we went to, she got great reports. The baby was healthy.
Hey, Daddy.
Hey, Langston.
Hey,
5 minutes.
All right, let's go, guys.
All right, sweetheart. Ready to go? You want to walk, okay?
Hey, Langston. We've been waiting on you, buddy. Everybody's here to celebrate. I really don't know that there's any other emotion or experience that you can compare to that, right? Being in the delivery room when your son is born with your wife and, welcoming him into the world. It was an amazing, amazing feeling. Shortly after Langston was born, they took us back to recovery. Kira's sitting there, and I first noticed that there was blood in the catheter at her bedside, and that was the first sign that I realized that something wasn't quite right. I brought it to the attention of the nurses and the doctors. They ordered a CT scan that was supposed to be performed stat, right? And so stat, in my mind, I'm thinking that means immediately. She's beginning to tremble uncontrollably. She's beginning to shake. She's beginning to be in increasingly more pain. There's still no CT scan. The doctor's walking next to the bed, and he says to me, I'm gonna fix it, and she'll be back in 15 minutes. She'll be back in 15 minutes. And that was the last time I saw Kira alive. They told me that there was nothing they could do to save her, that she was gone. A wife that wasn't just in good health, but was in exceptional health. And not walking out is something that I never conceived, and even 2 years later, I still can't make sense of it in my mind. Who's the best big brother? Dad. Where's Langston? Dad. Show me Langston. Where's your baby brother Langston? All right. Say, I love you. Dad. Blow a kiss.
It's this beautiful baby. Thank God he's born perfectly healthy. We were just like, oh, yay, celebrate. This is my, second go round. I'd had an 18-month-old born before, and so I had this grandma thing down. I got this. This is cool. We're all celebrating it. And then less than 12 hours, she's dead. They said, oh, had we gotten her back into the operating room, she would be perfectly fine. Oh, if we had. Well, why the hell didn't they? It was not that she was sick, it's not that she had a pre-existing condition, that she had a heart problem or she had a blood clot. None of that was Kira's case.
We walked in for what we expected to be the happiest day of our life, and we walked straight into a nightmare.
Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes. That's just a fact. So it's wrong that that exists. Some people hear those statistics and they'll say, well, there's something wrong with Black women. It must be some gene that Black people carry that causes it. Why is it that Black women are more likely to die from complications than white women?
Everything was pointing to signs that she was having a great pregnancy and we were expecting another very healthy baby boy. The last thing I told her was that I loved her. The last thing I told Kira is I loved her. When they told me that her heart stopped, that was all I heard. I sit awake at nights thinking, man, like maybe I should have grabbed somebody by their collar, right? Maybe I should have turned the table over, right? Would that have made a difference? I definitely thought about the whole issue of I didn't want to be perceived not only as angry, but an angry Black man, right? I'm not the smallest guy in the world. And what that would mean and how we would be perceived and how we would be treated as a result of that perception. When this first happened, I would get the question a lot, well, do you think it was because she was Black? Do you think it would be different if Kira was white or was a different color? And the way I answer that question is, the simple fact that you have to ask that question is a problem.
The only thing that we conclude with any kind of reasonable certainty is that the experience of being Black in America is so fundamentally different from the experience of being white in America that it translates to health outcomes. Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die than white women in the United States. And the only difference is the color of one's skin.
All of this is racism. It's various types of racism. It's not something inherent in Black women. Genetics isn't a part of it. They go to all their prenatal appointments. They are in good condition when they arrive at the delivery room, and then they experience racial discrimination by medical professionals. The problem with that is often stereotypes about culture come into the training. This idea that Black people have different kinds of bodies than other human beings has continued in medical practice to this very day. For example, there's a long line of studies that show that Black patients are undertreated for pain. Black people have thicker skin, so don't feel pain as much. Or Black people are more likely to become addicted to drugs and therefore shouldn't be prescribed opioid pain treatments. These stereotypes are significant and prevalent.
There definitely are genetic differences that we are taught in medical school that you need to know when you're trying to take care of a patient of a specific race to know what's more common in that race. I'm Indian. We're prone to cardiovascular disease. If I recommend a colonoscopy to an African American person at 45, does that make me racist? I don't think so. It's actually better health care, right? If you know that in this race, these things are more common than in this race. Being overweight and obese is fraught with other medical complications, diabetes, high blood pressure, which increase your risk of delivery complications, increase your risk of postpartum complications.
We think that more than half of all pregnancy-related deaths are preventable, and clearly the deaths that we see from the old-fashioned causes, particularly hemorrhage, we know what to do.
Shortly after he came out, I remember feeling extremely dizzy. It got extremely bright and I saw like stars everywhere, and I just remember them placing him on me, and I just told them like I can't move.
Whenever I go to the doctor, they always say you are in perfect health. And I always to this day wonder if doctors may have gotten something wrong. My doctor decided to do the emergency C-section, pulled me into the operating room. I was given a spinal tap, which went too high and quickly caused me to lose oxygen. I just knew I was going to die that day. I just knew it. And I was doing my best to fight to stay alive. I've never felt anything like that ever, where I couldn't breathe and literally thought I had spoken my last breath. He saved me, because if he had not come in when he did, the nurse would have thought I was just being a drama queen, and I don't know if I would be sitting here. If something doesn't feel right, speak up.
Hey, I'm here, finally induced. Pitocin just started, so I'm pretty happy right now.
We got into the hospital at 9 p.m. on the 31st, and he was born at 1:05 a.m. on New Year's Day. Shortly after he came out, I remember feeling extremely dizzy. It got extremely bright and I saw like stars everywhere, and I just remember them placing him on me, and I just told them like I can't move.
You went from this euphoria watching this little person come out, and then all of a sudden, the river of blood. It was just continual, I mean like pouring, like a river. The doctor, they're frantic and begging the nurse for gauze and cloth, and I looked at my daughter and she was pale. I mean, ghostly pale, and her lips were purple. And I'm like, then it kicked into me that this is so severe.
I could have died. That's what I now realize.
If you are black and highly educated, you still have a higher probability of pregnancy-related death than the least educated white woman. It is astonishing. The only difference is the color of one's skin.
I feel like they assumed I would be like everybody else. Like I was just another number, and versus looking at me as an individual patient who has her own individual problems. If they had checked the charts, or if I had one consistent doctor, or if there was one way for them to mark that this is her issue, be careful of this and be mindful of it, that they would have been more prepared for when I came in. versus, having to fix the issue after it's already happened.
We really do need to do a better job of listening to women and also listening to Black women. Even if you're just looking at this person, you're saying that I'm colorblind, you're still not listening to that patient.
We have a huge African American population of patients, and I have no doubt in my mind that we give them the exact same care as anybody else. But when I brought it up to my partners, it was almost like hurtful because we just don't feel that we practice medicine that way.
She said that she would like to have a daughter and, have another child, and she and her husband decided no, they're not going to because what happened afterwards. And that crushed me because I know my daughter wants a daughter, and to know that she won't go through it because of this.
I don't want to try again. I think it affected my husband a lot more because I don't think he wants to see me give birth again due to that. So if we wanted a girl, I don't know if we want to go through that experience again.
It's just not fair. It just curtailed where we thought we would be with our family. We're a big family and we enjoy being a big family. So it hurts.
Yeah. Yeah.
When this happened to me, when my wife passed away from preventable causes related to childbirth, I was, in my mind, I was thinking that Kira was an anomaly. In a nation that's the richest, most wealthy country in the world, for this to be happening, it's ridiculous. My philosophy is wake up, make mommy proud, repeat. That's it. And that's how I do it, day by day, day after day.
I love you.
I anticipate that after we have the conversation about what happened to their mother, then my sons will ask me, well, Daddy, what did you do about it? Like, they did this to Mommy, what did you do about it? And it's important to me that I'm able to look them in their eyes and say, son, we lost, but they didn't win. This is the work that we've done. This is the legacy that your mother stands for. This is why other people don't have to worry about what we've been through. And that's what's important to me.
We know that there are problems here, and we know that there are things that we can do to fix.
Mothers are dying from childbirth. It's getting worse in the United States while it gets better in other countries. American Black women are 3 to 4 times more at risk. But what can you do about it? Turns out, a lot. There are 3 things that will help all new moms. Number 1, make sure your hospital is prepared for the unexpected.
We know that there are things that we can do to fix in terms of providing care.
Innovative approaches to help new moms are saving lives. Some delivery rooms are equipped with special crash carts loaded with all the tools doctors need during an emergency. But not all hospitals will have these life-saving protocols.
Don't assume that just because you're being treated in a hospital that you're getting the best care you could or that you're getting unbiased care.
Number 2, speak up. There's proof it can save your life.
If you feel or think that something is not right, don't let off of it.
Number 3, moms-to-be can get proactive with their health. Control the things you can. Here's a checklist from a doctor.
Go to all your prenatal visits, get your flu shots, take your medications, get your appointments and ultrasounds as you're supposed to, get your genetic and prenatal testing.
Moms are at risk for pregnancy-related complications for a full year after their child is born. Spikes in blood pressure or dizziness are warnings of more serious problems. So make sure your doctor is someone you can talk to about any health issue.
If you really feel like you're not getting what you need, it is okay to look around and get a new doctor. I think that is part of advocating for yourself.
A checklist for moms-to-be can help both doctors and patients get on the same page. We posted it at 11alive.com/mothersmatter.
Charles Johnson is a dad.
You want 3 pieces of toast?
He's a cook.
Never a dull moment, man.
Raising 2 boys with mom looking over them. Charles and his wife Kira waiting for their son to arrive. Charles waited again.
The doctor's walking next to the bed. And he says to me, I'm gonna fix it, and she'll be back in 15 minutes.
15 minutes turned into forever.
We walked in for what we expected to be the happiest day of our life, and we walked straight into a nightmare. And that was the last time I saw Kira alive.
7 years has passed since you lost Kira.
Yeah.
Are the doctors responsible? Is the hospital responsible? Has there been any accountability?
Every single way that she could have been failed, she was failed.
Back in 2018, you spoke to Congress.
I'm begging, I'm pleading the staff to do something. And around 9 o'clock, as I continue to plead for my wife's life, the staff at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center tells me, sir, your wife just isn't a priority right now.
Did you have any idea what was going to take place after you spoke to them?
It really makes me emotional just thinking about that moment. Telling them how amazing Kira was and explaining to them how deeply she was failed by the system.
But Charles won't fail, and he's not willing to wait. Helping to pass an act of Congress to expand postpartum health coverage and fund research was just the start.
Not only did we pass the legislation that I was fighting for then, that we've continued to pass further legislation, that we've continued to push further.
Now he's pushing with his own movement, For Kira, for moms. He's not waiting to help dads, too.
How have you been a big brother or a mentor to men who are impacted?
There are a lot of men that I have developed amazing relationships with, and I wish that we didn't have this very unique bond, but the reality is that we do. Is how do we parent through this, right? How do we help? They're competitive, they're kind, right? They don't back down from, yeah, they don't back down from anything, right? And it's very much consistent with who their mom was and who their mom is.
And they're not waiting either.